What's up, everybody? It's Def Shogun, freelance illustrator and graphic designer. Thank you for joining the channel and hanging out with me. Today we're going to be working on inking on Procreate on the iPad Pro with the 2nd Gen Apple Pencil, just to give you an idea of what it is exactly that I'm working with here. Okay? So for this video, we're going to be primarily working on inking and the process that I use for inking my pieces, and hopefully it will help fill the gaps in any knowledge that you might have with your process as well. And don't forget, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the comments. I love answering questions, and it makes me feel like I'm engaging with my community and helping you guys out, and that's a big part of why I'm doing this. So don't forget to hit the like, don't forget to hit the subscribe, and don't forget to hit that little notify me ring bell button. Get notified when I go live and when I post new content as well. Alright, so without further ado, let's start inking. Alright, so for this exercise, we're going to be using this wacky carrot that I decided to sketch up over the weekend. We don't need something crazy to get into the details of how I work and how I ink. I'm going to show you every little bit of details that I know regarding the ink process with digitally inking in Procreate on the iPad Pro. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, now usually what I would do is I would just do a time lapse and then I'd narrate over it, but I feel like doing it live with you in real time like this would be a little more beneficial. Alright, so just a heads up, I'm using my own ink brush that I created here. It's called Def Inks, you can see it right there. The link is in the bio or in the description of this video from my website at defshogun.com, or it might be showing up over there, defshogun.com. And you can pick up my brushes there if you're interested. And you'll get the full set. You get the sketch, ink, airbrush, and a super soup fiber mesh brush. So, with that said, I'm going to grab my ink brush, and I like to set it at 5% is the best for me, at least for the main inking of the character. And you'll see I have another notch here, which is for 10%, and I'll show you what that does later. Okay, so let's get into it. What you're going to do is create a new layer over your sketch, and your sketch layer is going to be at like 50%. So that's like average off. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we go to our new layer here that we created over it, and usually how I treat a sketch, I treat it as a rough estimate as to what I want to do and the shapes that I want to create once I start doing my line art. Okay. So I don't exactly go to a T exactly what it is that I see on the screen here. Now you notice what I'm doing here is I make a curve and then I hold it. Make a curve and I hold it, and it kind of makes a perfectly smooth line, right? And then when you're done, you kind of just clean it up a little bit. But look, I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see, make a curve. See how it smooths it out? Now you could also move it just by keeping the stylus or the Apple Pencil on the screen as you make the curve. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and then it curves. Draw the line, hold it, and then it curves. See? Now you can just go in and clean that up a little bit. And again, I don't go into extremes with I don't worry about the details as far as what my pencils did. I go for what I think would look best now that I'm seeing it close up, right? So see, I made that little notch. It gives that little, like, that extra bit of skin that kind of wrinkles up when you smile or scream or something like that. Again, curve. I don't hold it for everything. And then what I like to do, if something is black, what I'll do is I'll grab the color dropper. See me? I'm holding it now, holding it on the screen, and then I let go. And it does that. That's what I wanted to do. I'll do it again. And again, as you see, these details, these details here weren't in my initial sketch. I just decided to add them in for a little more depth of the character. I'll go ahead and drag that in. I'm just trying to keep my strokes smooth. You might have to play with the pressure curve on your iPad. Sometimes my hand does a random little shake, so I have to. The tricky part is, right, if you're doing a curve, one curve is fine. But if you try to do multiple curves and hold it, it creates lines, which I hate. So what I'm going to try and do is follow through this curve here. Stop where I can. And follow through again. And hold it. Hold it. Do a little overlap of the lip. Make the teeth. Make the gum line. You have to show a lot of the gums, especially if it's like cartoony, you know? Don't matter. Put a little edge over here. What I usually do to undo, I just double tap to undo. With two fingers, tap on the screen, or undo. It's the easiest way for me to undo. Now drag and drop, the fill color only works when you have a closed loop, right? So if it's not closed, try to color drop, fills the whole screen. But if you have a closed loop, doesn't matter how rough it is, you can do that. But Daph, where are his legs? He has no legs. He's a carrot. Carrots don't have legs. God. People worry about details too much. You people as in you trolls. Just kidding. I love trolls. some little details there. Now, if you wanted to, this is a good example of using the selection tool to make inking easier. You could just grab it and hit copy paste right here. Now you have another layer that has that hand, and then you flip it, then you can put it over there. If you felt like being lazy, you could do that. Sometimes I've done that with a few things of my own. So. Okay, so let's see how it looks without any pencils on it, just for now. Pretty cool. So merge that down. Okay. Just add some more details here. It seems a little stagnant, so we're just gonna add in some more. And what you could do is you can erase little bits here and there, and then what you do is you cut in. It gives it a more rough feel. You know? And let's go in and add some of those carrot lines that we all love so much. Well, I don't know if we love them, but they're there. Do something about them, okay? We'll clean up as we go. And the brush I'm using for my eraser is the same brush I'm using for my inking. It's just not an exact size. And that looks pretty good, right? Now we can go even crazier with detail by blocking out some negative lighting. So if we wanted to, I could come in here and I could block this part out, and then we fill it, and we'll do the same over here. And you have to think in 3D. You have to imagine where some of the light's coming from. Maybe the light is coming from behind him, like he's running from an explosion. So majority of the light is coming from behind him. So a lot of the front of his face will be blocked out. Again, we'll do it here. Follow the contours of the face. Let the eyebrows show a little bit here and there. Now what I like to do, is something like this is going on, I'll grab the eraser tool and I'll make it somewhat small. Then we'll go in and we'll start line shading. See how that looks? And then you can continue some of those carrot lines throughout. This way it looks like it hasn't disrupted the detail of the character. And we can go in and do this. Press down thick, and then as you go through the line, you slowly come off with the pressure. Now the ink brush you're using will probably not react the same way if you're using a different brush than my Def Shogun ink brush, but if you do have pressure sensitivity turned on and stuff like that for your brush, then you might get the similar results. And I like to taper it and break it up so the shapes don't look exactly the same throughout the entire way, because variety is the spice of life, my friend. See that? Now, if we wanted to have an explosion, we could follow our sketch here. We could see some of the shapes of the explosion. Now, for like smoke and stuff like that, or for anything, depth of field is important, right? So when something is closer to a camera, it's larger. When something is further away, it's smaller. Same goes for smoke and stuff like that. If you're drawing smoke by hand, not using one of those crazy Procreate smoke brushes. Big swoops in front. Smaller, 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 smaller in back. And we can follow this curve. It's running down a street. Again, big little swoops in back. Big swoops in front. Are you paying attention? This is the middle of the video. We're towards the end of the video. I haven't decided yet. Some random bits of debris and extra smoke in the air. Let's see how it looks. Now, a lot of the principles that I just showed you here today, I use for almost every piece I make, whether it's figures from Marvel or DC, like character mashups or comic book work or stickers. It's all the same. I use the same method for everything. Alright, so now if you wanted to get into it, you could make some speed lines. Make sure you just follow the angle. Pretty good. Okay, so say you're done inking, and you want to put some finishing touches on a character or something like that. And this helps especially with stickers, as I mentioned earlier. Right? So with the same brush that I have, I bring up my size from 5%, which I had there originally, and bring it up to 10%. Makes it a little chunkier. Then what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll make a thick outline around the entire thing and try to keep it uniform as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about it being perfect. Just try to keep it. Try to keep it the same thickness all the way around as best you can. And again, I hold that curve and it makes a nice smooth curve around the edge. And this is not only does it make the piece pop, as you can already see, but it also, there's like a little ASMR aspect to the feel of it. Like when you're on TikTok and you're watching people like paint a wall or power wash a car or mow a lawn. It's somewhere in the vein of that same thing, doing this. Let's just erase that a little bit there. Now, I'm moving pretty quick here because I'm trying to keep the video as short as possible without boring everybody. But I just want to be able to go over everything with everyone at the same time. So the top of the mouth is usually blacked out because it casts a shadow on itself. So we're going to do this. And then we'll fill it. And that's basically how I ink. And I did the same process with this. This was done in a previous video. You can check that out. I mean, if I look at anything, even my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, the inking process is the same all the way through. Maybe there's some more details than others. But that's pretty much it. So I hope this video helped you out in some way. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer as best I can. I don't know everything, but if I don't have an answer for you, I will try to find it out for you and get it. There are multiple different ways of using Procreate and inking. This is my method that I learned that works best for me, and I'm just sharing it with you. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join the Discord as well. All my links are in the description and in my bio. Thank you all again so much for your support. Thank you for hanging out. Again, if you want to pick up my brushes, they're at the web store at defshogun.com. All my links are in my bio, my description. So thank you again for your support. Hope this helped. I'll see you next time. Peace.